For this video, we are going to study about consumer and producer surplus. What consumer surplus really is talking about is that consumers are better off because we don't have to pay what we would be willing to pay. So there's examples where if the price were $6, somebody would buy whatever good it is we're talking about. Let's assume it's a piece of pizza and you're really, really hungry. You'd be willing to pay $6 for that piece of pizza, but the market price of this pizza is only $2, so you only have to pay the $2. So I'd be willing to pay the $6. I only have to pay $2 because that's what the market price is. So in figuring out consumer surplus, we want to figure out how much better off am I, or is this person, or is society, because we would be willing to pay a higher price, but we don't have to because the price in the market's only going to be $2. So there'd be somebody that would pay $6, maybe somebody that paid $5 and $4 and $3, etc., all the way down to the market price of $2. We wouldn't buy any for $1, but at $2, we'd be willing to buy 4 here. Okay, so in order to figure out our consumer surplus, what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of the triangle underneath this demand curve. So what we're trying to find is the area of this triangle here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, to calculate the area of this triangle, all I'm going to do is take the height times the base, and then we're going to divide that by 2 because it's a triangle. Okay, so we're going to take, this is our consumer surplus. We're going to take 6 minus 2, that's our height. Okay, 6 minus 2. We're going to multiply that by 4 minus 0, that's the base of our triangle. 4 minus 0. And then because it's a triangle, we're going to have to divide that by 2. Okay, so we're going to have 4 times 4 divided by 2, which is 8. Okay, so that's how we calculate consumer surplus. Okay, so we'd be basically $8 better off because I'd be willing to pay $6, I only have to pay 2. This person would be willing to pay $5, they only have to pay 2. So we are better off. The area of this triangle is our consumer surplus. Okay, that'll work also with the producer surplus. Producer surplus says there's firms that would be willing and able to sell at a price lower than the market price, but they don't have to. These sellers are still going to get $2. This seller would be willing to sell at $1, but they don't have to. They can sell at $2, so they're better off because they can get more than their minimum supply price. Okay, so let's figure out here in this example, we're going to find the area of this triangle, the triangle above the supply curve up to that market price. Okay, we're going to do it the same way. We're going to find the height times the base and then divide it by 2 because it's a triangle. Okay, so here we have 2 minus 0. That's my height, 2 minus 0. Our base is 0 to 4, or 4 minus 0. We're going to not forget to divide that by 2. Okay, so we're going to have 2 times 4 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, our producer surplus is then 4. Okay, the sellers are now $4 better off because they would be willing to sell at a price lower than they have to. Okay. Now, one other thing that we can look at with consumer and producer surplus is something called deadweight loss. If for some reason we're not selling 4, let's say we're only selling 2 units, okay, we're only selling these 2 units, we're not selling the amount of goods that gets us the most producer and consumer surplus. So what we end up with is something called deadweight loss. Society is worse off because we are not buying 4 units. We're only selling 2, so we have this whole area that we've lost our consumer and producer surplus. So this area is called our deadweight loss.